So now we're on the polyunsaturated.
There we go. So polyunsaturated is the third category. And there are the seed oils. So those are the infamous seed oils that, there are some camps, some people that believe that they are not beneficial. They're harmful to us. So think about soybean oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil as an example.
Right. Canola.
Canola is another one.
So the polyunsaturated, there's omega-3s and omega-6s in them from what I've learned. And so omega-3s are the good omegas and omega-6s have been the bad omegas. But now I'm hearing that that's not necessarily true. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about what's the omega-3s do, what do the omega-6s do?
Right. Yeah, so with the omega-3s in particular, we didn't talk about flaxseed, which is it's a seed, right? So it is a polyunsaturated seed. That's a high source of omega-3. And actually walnuts, there is walnut seed oil, believe it or not, walnut oil rather. And so walnut and flaxseed are high in omega-3. So those are sort of our two plant sources of omega-3s. And there's some, fatty fish, but we're not talking about those sources. But in the plant world, you can get some omega-3s from flaxseed and walnuts.
So those would be an example of a seed oil that's not so bad for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Because they're a polyunsaturated,
right,
but they have health benefits.
Okay. So then within that polyunsaturated, we have the omega-6s.
Right.
And I've always heard omega-6s cause inflammation. They're not good for you. But then I've just learned that our body doesn't make omega-6. So if we don't get any in our diet, we got a problem.
That is correct. So we shouldn't be so urgent to, not eat any omega-6 fatty acids because, like you said, we need them. But, we really only need a little bit, like, probably a teaspoon total prevents deficiencies. But, the fact is that omega-6s research does show that they are beneficial. Part of how the confusion and maybe some of the seed oil demonizing began is that where you find seed oils, unfortunately, for the last 20 years or so, is ultra-processed foods.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where it stems from.
I believe so, to be honest. And so do a lot of the other people that sort of live in my world, functional medicine, that it's a combination of things. But they have done, researchers, scientists as they, have done studies to prove that omega-6s have health benefits in terms of anti-inflammatory, the very thing that they're demonized for. Also, they're good for type 2 diabetes. Okay, and cardiovascular disease. So there are plenty of studies out there if you want to go. There was one in the American Journal of the American Medical Association that just came out this year. I forget the month, but I reviewed it before this segment. And proving again, health benefits of omega-6s.
They're not all bad.
They are not. Right.
And then I've also heard that it has, again, how they're processed. High heat, they use hexane.
Yes.
Which is a poisonous chemical.
Right.
It's crazy, right?
Right.
So if they're cold pressed, I think.
Yes.
So what's all that mean?
That's so important. So because seed oils are quite inexpensive for manufacturers to use in making the ultra-processed foods, they just process them the easiest way that they can, which does include high heat and a chemical called hexane. And even though, they are supposed to have no hexane in it, there's a legal amount that manufacturers are allowed to have of hexane, if you want to have any. So therein lies the problem. There's still going to be such a transformation of these previously healthy fats, and now the antioxidants are gone. There's hexane in there. They've been exposed to high heat. So if you can get any one of those omega-6 oils that's been cold pressed, processed, then there's no hexane, no high heat, and now all the antioxidants are preserved and all the health benefits are there.
Oh, very nice.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So any seed oil recommendations? You kind of hit on them already. but you mentioned a couple, but I hear sesame seed oil is one of the better ones.
We
right?
left that out. Yeah, sesame seed is out there, and flaxseed oil. So those are two. And always check your bottle, because there could be a manufacturer that produces sesame seed in a not so healthy way. So look, if it's cold pressed, it's always going to say cold pressed, and typically on the front, because manufacturers know that people are smart, and those looking for a cold press will want to see it right in the front.
Okay, so they're going to advertise it
They will.
and put it out there. If this, okay, they know people want it.
Exactly.
All right. Now, you kind of mentioned something that makes me think about my emphasis on reading the labels on things.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to take a moment. There's a couple apps out there, the Yucca app
Right.
and the EWG app,
Right.
which you take it grocery shopping, scan the label, and it will give you a grade on it. It'll tell you some of
Right.
the goods, the bads about it.
Sure.
So it's really so important to just read what's in things.
Yes.
We've talked about this in past episodes. If it's got a number on it, like red dye number 6, or if it's got a big chemical name or a name you can't even pronounce,
Sure.
stay away from it.
Right.
But that app does all the work for you. So we're going to have a link on the website as well, and then we'll have it in the description of the video to those two apps, Yucca app and EWG app. And like I said, you just go to the grocery store with your phone and scan the labels, and then it takes a lot of the mystery out of things for us.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. All right, good.
The EWG app also has like a personal care product part of it too. So I use that a
Okay.
lot when I'm shopping for other
Right,
things,
right.
and I check it out. So that's an excellent app.
Well, I haven't used it for
food
that.
and
Yeah.
body products.
I'm usually
Yeah.
doing an internet search for non-toxic face things or non-toxic
Yeah.
shampoos.
Right.
But that's nice to hear that I can do it with that same app.
They sure
that's
do.
awesome. All right, good. So how do I balance my omega-3 and omega-6 in my diet? Is there like a secret or a trick, or is there, you got any tips for that?
Right. Look, we just clarified that, if anything, the way that most Americans are getting maybe a disproportionate amount of high omega-6s, okay, is through ultra-processed foods. So in the first place, people have to start taking a look at, am I eating whole foods, partially, okay processed foods, or too many ultra-processed foods. So that's one way to reduce possibly the imbalance, because I want to talk about balance and ratios a bit. Doesn't that make sense right about this point? So not only do you just don't want to overdo anything. It's like what you were saying. How do we balance this out? So by reducing ultra-processed foods, you're going to reduce the omega-6s. And the thing is, we actually need a high amount of omega-3s. And when the incoming is too high on the omega-6s, then the ratio of omega-6 to 3s makes the omega-3s be too low. And so now we're just not in a healthy balance. So we need to just think about, yes, I need to, of course, look maybe to fatty fish, because that's super helpful, and sardines and mackerel to get more omega-3s. But our plant sources, find places to throw ground flaxseed, put walnuts on top of your oatmeal, or eat it as a snack. So those are great ways to get your omega-3s, and really focus on those. And then when it comes to the omega-6s, you're probably going to get enough because they're out there, but really think about reducing your ultra-processed foods, and then that ratio is going to balance out a little bit more.
And the ultra-processed foods is, again, a common theme that we keep talking about. And
Right.
I don't know that there's a single redeeming value about an ultra-processed food. I've yet
Right.
to find one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about processed fats. Trans fats
Right.
Are never good. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so trans fats, the main one I'm familiar with is margarine.
Right.
It's basically man-made, right?
Sure.
And there's really no redeeming value in those things.
None. And in fact, they have found that it's detrimental.
Right.
It is harmful.
Okay.
So what I wanted to be sure that everybody knew is that when trans fats were banned in 2021,
Okay.
the guidelines said no more than 0.5 milligrams per serving of trans fats.
Okay.
So, of course, all manufacturers that didn't want to have trans fats
I hear what's coming.
said, okay, I'm going to put 0.4 milligrams.
Of course they did, right? Okay, so now they can say on the label, 0 trans fat,
Right.
because they're under that cutoff.
Right. 0.4 is, zeroes out to 0.
Mm-hmm.
But if you read the label of said product that normally would have trans
Right.
fats, you'll see partially hydrogenated XYZ oil,
Okay.
any kind of oil. So partially hydrogenated is trans fat. So that's
for
code.
okay.
There you go.
So they can say all they want, zero trans fats. Again, look at the label.
Right.
And if it says hydrogenated, partially hydrogenated oil, bad.
That's trans fat.
Yeah, that's kind of diabolical. That whole and that kind of goes back to something else we've talked about. These major food companies are owned by the tobacco companies. And they told their scientists, and this has been documented in their corporate documents, or exposed in their corporate documents, they basically told them, make them less filling and make them addictive.
Yes.
And then do sneaky things like that. Like, let's get around these loopholes. Oh, we can't put it in there anymore? Oh, fine, we'll go 0.4 on it. So it's really despicable.
It is.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So trans fats, bad, always.
Always.